You're watching Novi Pulse, a show that lets you, the viewer, get an inside look at the trends and the people who run today's local and global businesses in the community of Novi. I'm Greg Chapman, and together we'll see what it takes to be a leader in Novi. Did you know that Varsity Lincoln Mercury in Novi is #1 in the world for Lincoln Mercury new car and SUV sales for 2005 and the past 9 consecutive years? Additionally, Varsity Lincoln Mercury has been open for Saturday sales and service since their grand opening 11 years ago. Varsity also offers the largest inventory of new and used Lincolns and Mercurys in the nation. Joining us today is Mike Stanford, owner of Varsity Lincoln Mercury. Mike, it's good to have you here today.
Good afternoon.
Mike, can you tell me a little bit about Varsity?
Well, Varsity, we started Varsity Ford in Ann Arbor. My brother Lou and my brother Hank did probably about 30 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And it was a closed point. It was a dealership that had currently gone bankrupt.
Mm-hmm.
And they bought it in, I think it was 1981 is the first year they were in business. Economic times weren't the greatest back then. And they brought the store from being closed to being the #1 Ford dealership in Michigan 14 consecutive years in a row. They lost that crown about 4 or 5 years ago and just regained it again last year. And they're the #3 largest Ford dealer in the United States. So that kind of kicked us off. I worked there for 13 years, and the opportunity for the Lincoln Mercury dealership came up, and my brother and myself became partners and opened the store. Well, it's almost 12 years ago now.
Oh, wow.
So it was a great opportunity.
That's great. So just a long heritage of family being involved in the auto industry. So how did you get involved in your line of work?
Well, my dad was in the car business for a number of years. He retired back in 1968, which was a long time ago, and I was 13 at that time. And we all kind of liked the car business, and when my oldest brother got out of the service, he became a salesperson at a local dealership, as did my other brother at another local dealership. And I became a salesman at a local dealership also, Don Massey Cadillac. And we worked our way through salesman into management, got our experience, and then we all came together in '81. So it's been kind of a great story.
That's absolutely terrific. So you got a lot of heritage, once again, you know, in the industry. Now, Varsity has how many locations? 2. 2 locations. So we have a Ford dealership in Ann Arbor and a Lincoln Mercury dealership in Novi.
Yes.
Now, why did you choose Novi to start?
Novi has been, at that time, 12 years ago, it's such a great community, such a growing community. And also its location, because it's so close to a major expressway, which you can draw a lot of business that way. And also being on Grand River and Wixom, it's a very high traffic area. And the community is surrounded by some great areas when you look at South Lyon and Milford, Commerce Township. There's just a lot of growth, a lot of new people moving in. So it was a logical choice.
Yeah, definitely. Mike, how did you come up with the name of Varsity?
Well, when we first opened the store in Ann Arbor, we wanted to find something that would tie us with the community and let people know where we are. So we started thinking about the University of Michigan. Also, it's close to Eastern Michigan University. So we talked about campus, we talked about Varsity, we had about 5 or 6 different names that we kind of bannered around, and we settled on the name Varsity.
That's great.
And because of the notoriety of the Ford store and the success it's had over the years, we kind of carried forth here in Novi. We felt like, even though it's not a college campus town, but the name was so well known after being in business for so many years and having so many loyal customers, that we felt that just the name recognition alone would help us in starting a new business.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, when you started up your new business with the Ford dealership, what kind of challenges did you have to overcome in getting everything up and running?
There was a lot of things to overcome, especially when it's a closed franchise. You've got to start fresh with everything. You've got to have people in every single different spot. You've got to have new managers and salespeople and support people. And the hardest part of starting a new business is just getting the right people in the right places. And that normally takes, about 36 months, because no matter how hard you interview a person, you don't know until they come on board how well they're going to work out, truthfully. So,
oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it's kind of a trial and error. You want to make sure they embrace the same values, customer values that you do, and they have a work ethic, obviously, and are good at what they do, and make sure you get along. That's the other thing. So it takes about 36 months to get everything rolling. That was probably our hardest thing to do. And it kind of, but when you enjoy what you do, it doesn't seem like work. So
Yeah,
when you come in the morning, you're anticipating what you're going to do that day.
Mm-hmm.
And then the more often you do that every single day, and you don't really look too far forward or don't look too far backwards, and you end up getting momentum, getting good people, and your success comes.
Yeah, that's incredible. Very well said. Now, the auto industry has been quite a challenge in the recent past couple of years. What do you see in the near term, and what kind of challenges is Varsity currently facing?
Well, one thing in the automobile industry, your percentage of gross to net, in other words, your top number looks so great, you say, wow, you sold 3,000 or 5,000 cars last year.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at it as an industry, from gross to net, what you actually net is less than 2%. If you're the smartest guy on the planet, you might get to 3%. So the top numbers are huge, but what the trickle-down effect after you pay your sales commission and your floor plan and your insurance and advertising and all the other stuff that goes into it, it's a very, very small margin business. Very similar, I think, to the grocery business, where your volumes are very high, but your actual net is very low. So the hard part now is, with your volumes drop, you have to make sure all your expenses are in line. And we've worked on that probably for the past 3 years, getting the right mix of cars to make sure your floor plan doesn't over exceed your expectation monetarily. So we're in pretty good shape that way. And right now, that the new products we have coming out in the Lincoln Mercury line, the new Mariner's been awesome. The new Zephyr's been more than we'd expect. The Milan has been tremendous. They're all the kind of cars that people want now. They're good on gas. They're really a timely offering. So we've made some good headway in that.
Well, that's great. So, you've seen the change with the margins in the business. So to me, that would say that customer service now is of even more importance. Can you tell us a little bit about your customer service?
Well, this market here in the Detroit market is fairly unique to every other market in the United States because it's what we call A-plan dependent. A majority of the people that come in today, 90%, are A-plan eligible in some form or another. So that means someone works for the factory or relative does, that allows them to get a special discount price. The pricing is pretty standardized, and there's not much negotiation except for possibly a trade. So the service is paramount. The ability to give customers service after the sale. Anybody can sell the product the first time, but to have the convenience of when they come in, to have a loaner car available for them of liking kind of what they're driving, to have friendly staffers in service that understand their time is very, very valuable, to do pickup and delivery to the home or to the office. All those type of things really, a lot of people talk it, but it becomes very expensive to do and very time consuming. So if you're smart enough to stay on that, that really helps you in the marketplace very, very, very much.
And one of the things that really impressed me is the Varsity Lincoln Mercury is open on Saturdays, not only for sales, but service. And, a lot of the times, I feel that, when I'm out looking for a car, it's not during the week when I'm working, it's on the weekend. And you go to these dealerships and you don't have the opportunity to talk to anybody on a Saturday, but you guys are there and really. We've
been open since our inception. A lot of dealers lately have opened because of business conditions, so a lot of people now are kind of like I call Johnny-come-latelys to open. They're open limited hours. We're open a full day from 8:30 to 5 o'clock every Saturday, which allows customers to come in an unhurried fashion, drive the cars, take the car for the day if they'd like. A lot of times we'll allow them to take our car and shop other dealers and other products driving our vehicle.
Wow.
And it's a very nice experience for them. It's been very, very helpful for us in our business. The service aspect of it's been great because no one wants to be rushed. And on a Saturday, depending on how their schedule runs, it's nice to be able to go to the mall, get their hair done. You can go work out at Vic Tanny's. You can do whatever you want at 12 Oaks while your car is being serviced on Saturday. Then you come back, pick it up, and your day hasn't been wasted sitting in a, we've got a beautiful lounge. We've got computer access and free coffee and all the stuff and new magazines. But most people want to be out and about. They have very active lifestyles.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's terrific. When we come back, we're going to get a personal perspective on Mike.
Last month, I adjusted my thermostat a few degrees a day to lower my energy bill. Experts say that helps reduce air pollution. I say, cha-ching. Morning, Carl.
Morning. Environmental defense. Get green. For more tips, go to getgreen.com.
Every week we return all our cans and bottles. Yeah, we help to reduce the world's waste.
But aluminum? It's like gold.
Uh-huh. There's a can.
Where?
Get it.
Environmental defense. Get green. For more tips, go to getgreen.com.
Hi, I'm Greg Chapman, and you're watching Novi Pulse. Today, joining me is Mike Stanford, owner of Varsity Lincoln Mercury in Novi. Mike, can you tell us a little bit about your family?
Well, there's four of us. My oldest brother, my second oldest brother, and my other brother. So it's three older brothers. I'm the youngest of all of them. Lou's 60, Hank's 55, Dennis is 52, and I'm 48.
Great.
My immediate family is, I've got a wife that I've been married to for 25 years.
Good.
We've been going together since we were 16, since high school. I've got two sons. My oldest son is a sophomore in college.
Okay.
My youngest son is a sophomore in high school. So I'm on a 3-year plan. 3 years, the oldest one's out of college,
That's right.
the youngest one's starting college, and
In
then
3
I got to
years.
figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of my life.
Exactly.
So.
Any aspirations of your children to get into the business?
Yeah, I think in the back of my mind, I would hope that they would be able to, but the hard part with that is they have to have a passion for whatever they're going to do, and I can't say my passions are going to be the same as theirs are going to be. So we've had a lot of conversations about that, and the thing I insist for them is to get a good education, the very best they can, be diverse, in fact, that what they're going to be educated for, accounting classes, banking classes, different things, and we'll find out when they graduate. And the other thing that's important is I think that they work, if they want to be in this industry, is to work for someone other than family. I think it's very, very important because you're not cut any slack when you're working for someone else. You understand what the requirements are of the job. And so any of your successes are your own, and any of your failures are your own. It's your own responsibility. Sometimes working in a family organization, that's not possible because you're not chastised if you need to be,
Exactly.
and you're not rewarded if you're successful, because they say, well, you're successful because of your family. So it's kind of a no-win thing. So they have to go out and earn their spurs on their own.
Yep, definitely. Now, you talk about passion with your children. Now, what do you find valuable and fulfilling about what you do? What do you wake up in the morning and get really excited about?
The different people, every day is different. There's not, when I go into the office, there's always some type of a challenge or some type of a obstacle to overcome, whether it be with personnel or whether it be with customers. And I just enjoy getting involved, to be able to be a problem solver. It's really nice to watch people mature as you bring them into the organization, to train them, to watch them go up the ladder. I mean, we've got employees that have been with us since we opened 12 years ago.
Oh, wow.
A lot of them have started at, we've got a lot of people that started at entry-level positions as phone operators and so forth that are now managers. It's just really nice to see them develop, watch their family grow, and it's pretty rewarding.
That's absolutely fabulous. Is there any person or event that kind of shaped your life or your career?
Well, my father was a big shaper of things in my life, and my older brother and my partner Lou probably was the second most person that shaped everything. I kind of emulated what he did. He was always had a cool calmness about him. He had a very, very good work ethic. He's never let success go to his head. He's always even-keeled. He's always been very giving and generous to the community. He's given back and done a lot of things. Very down to earth. You'd never know the level of success he's had, and he's had a lot of success in his life because he's a very humble, hard worker.
Okay, that's great. So community involvement's important to your brother, but what about yourself? I mean, are you involved in the community?
If it wasn't for the community and their support, we wouldn't be where we are. In Novi, we're involved in pretty much everything, from the hospitals to the high schools, and not only in Novi, Walled Lake and all the surrounding communities, we are really involved. I just think it's important as you go through life and as you have some success to be able to give back. That's the most important thing. The people that support our business and don't support our business, we always try to unilaterally work with them to make things better.
Yeah, exactly. So being involved in the community is really a strong part of what your organization stands for.
Absolutely.
Now, if business or your career was unimportant to you, and you didn't have to work, what would it be that you would do with your time?
Well, that's a tough question. Actually, I read through that because you gave me a little bit of an idea what you're going to be asking me prior to this, and that was probably the hardest question because I've never really thought about that. I've always taken life kind of one day or maybe 1 week at a time, concentrating on what I needed to do to be successful today, what my family needed, And I've really never thought, when I was kidding you a little bit about this 3-year plan, but I would imagine that portion of life in 3 years, when my son's out of college and my youngest is in college, that I'll take a look at that. I've always liked to help other people. I mean, I just think that that is pretty fulfilling in life. I mean, it's one thing when you get to the end of life and you've made a few bucks or you've done something, but I don't think that's the level of a person's life, in my opinion. I mean, how well my children are going to be equipped to go out in the world and raise families and be good human beings, that to me is more important than all the things I've accomplished in business. And I'd like to go forth, I think, and probably do some things to help people. I mean, I've got a pretty good head on my shoulders about different things. I like to be able to affect change, something in the community that would allow me to do that.
Well, that's great. So we talk a lot about, you know, your family being important, and you're very successful in your business. Now, how have you gone about balancing the two and being, you know, really there for both business and family?
That's probably the hardest thing to do. But I started very, very young in my business career. I was not quite 19 when I started in the car business with Don Massey. And I always had kind of a game plan. We waited till we had children till we were almost into our 30s. And I built my business from the time I was young, but when I had kids, I always put my own personal things aside. You know, maybe it was golf or hunting or fishing or whatever, but I went to all their games, and even at the expense of the business, I just felt like that was the most important thing to do. Because I have always said that if you could take everything that I have in my life away, it wouldn't bother me because I felt I could restart and do well again, except for my family. And if you don't covet the most important thing that you have in your life, then it's not a very smart way to go about things. So I've been very, very fortunate, and the time spent with my children have been probably my most precious thing. And like I said, when my life is done, I'm going to view it how well my children go into this world, how good of parents they're going to be, how much they're going to put back forth on this earth. I think that'll be the sign of what I've done with my life. Not all the cars I've sold or the things I've accomplished economically, because that's important too, but not nearly as important as a family is.
Absolutely. You know, your family's got to be very proud of you. I mean, just, you know, not the business, but being there. I know, you know, as a parent myself, being at the kids' games is just, it's so important and so rewarding for them. I mean, they know you're there and they know you care.
I think that makes you a better boss too. It really does when you understand that, because I have a lot of, if someone comes to me and says, you know, it's my son's or daughter's special occasion, whatever it is, I never ever give them a hard time about taking time off. Now if they came and said I want to take the afternoon off to play golf, I might be a little hard on them.
That may be a problem.
But if it's a family function, I believe that's the most important thing. That's the reason we do what we do every day. The hours we work, the things we do for our family. And if we don't covet them, then it's kind of worthless to do all that.
Absolutely. Very well said. Final question of the program. If you were to offer some advice for today's young people just coming into the world of business, media, politics, what would you say to them?
A very complex world, very competitive world we're in today, not only here but from abroad. A lot of our jobs and things that we do are being compared now outside of the country by other people who are trying to take them from us. Get a great education. Get the very best education you possibly can. Get something that's specialized. Don't take just general classes to take classes. And when you get that education, that doesn't entitle you to anything but to try to get a good job. Too many kids that come out of school today that are outstanding students and do very well come into the workplace, and when I talk to them and interview them, their first and foremost concern is how much vacation I'm going to get, and where do I get a free car? None of the things that are really pertinent to how life really works. But take that education and to have yourself a good work ethic. Be willing to put some money in the bank with a good company, which means you're going to have to probably work a little bit harder, a little bit longer at the beginning, and that'll make things easier for you at the end. Because today, if you're a 4.0 student, there's going to be 10 or 12 or 15 people that are 4.0 students. And the only thing that's going to separate you from them in the interview and also your ultimate job success is your ability to work hard and to be loyal to the company you work for, to understand what you're getting into when you hire in, and be willing to go the extra mile. And if you're with a good company, they'll do the same for you, and you'll have a great life.
Thank you, Mike. That's all the time we have today. Thank you for joining Mike Stanford, owner of Varsity Lincoln Mercury, and I on Novi Pulse. Please visit our website at www.novipulse.com for upcoming show times, to listen to previews of future guests, and to watch this and other programs at your convenience. I'm Greg Chapman, and you've been watching Novi Pulse.